To all of those who are joining, we are just going to wait a couple of minutes to wait for more people to trickle in, and then we will start our space.
One thing I like to know, I don't know if we're gonna have time for this, but I've never met Nina. Nina, do you want to tell me kind of a couple minutes about yourself or like how you ended up at Arbitrum?
Yeah, for sure. Nina here from the Off-Chain Labs partnership team. I'm mainly leading the APAC effort in our team. However, we're a very, very small team. If you look at our Telegram group, you know, like we have like less than, I think we just passed 30 people in our team. So many of us wear many hats. And Arbitrum Odyssey is a side project that turned into full-time job for the past 2 months. And I'm really glad that the community and all the projects really enjoyed it so far. And yeah, this is an initiative I'm leading on for now, and really happy to be here.
Very fun. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for us to talk about it. I think this has been just like a huge success so far, and it's only been running for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely a celebration. We never really done anything of this scale in the past. So really, really excited that everybody enjoyed it so far. Hopefully, this will last till 2 months after, because this is a 2 months campaign that's you know helping everybody to go through the L2 summer.
Okay, I do think that we are going to start. So, hello everyone. My name is Lana. I'm the communications manager at Across Protocol, and thank you all for joining us who are listening. Today, we're going to be chatting with Arbitrum. We have Nina from Arbitrum here. In this space, the two main topics that we will be discussing will be Across V2 and, of course, the Arbitrum Odyssey, which has just launched their Bridge Week this week. As a reminder, please press that blue button on the bottom right corner of this space or retweet the tweet that I am about to link above as well, just so we can spread the word about this space. So let me link that now. Okay, so for those who are just coming on this space and are listening and are maybe not too familiar with what Across is or what Arbitrum is, we would like to give you a little introduction. So Across is a cross-chain bridge that currently supports bridging back and forth between L2s and mainnet, with Arbitrum being one of our supported chains. Across prides itself on its security, exceptionally low fees, and near instantaneous transfers. And then moving on to Arbitrum. Arbitrum is an optimistic rollup built to scale Ethereum by Off-Chain Labs. Their suite of Ethereum scaling solutions enables high throughput, low-cost smart contracts while remaining trustlessly secure. So on both sides today for speakers, we have Chase, who is the data scientist at Across, and we also have Nina, who at Arbitrum does community and partnership management. So on either the Across side or Arbitrum side, Nina, is there anything that I missed that you want to tell listeners of what Arbitrum is all about?
No, I think I have a question specific for that. I will leave that till the end of the space.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good to me. So we are just going to move on to all of the main questions that we have on this space. So to start out, we just wanted to talk about what is new over at Across. So as we've talked about many times on our Twitter, we have just launched Across V2, which is very exciting. So Chase, do you want to kind of give a bit of a summary to our listeners of what exactly Across V2 means?
Yeah, I'd love to. No, so I'm really excited about what we've built and what we're using here at Across and kind of this Across V2 component. So in Across V1, kind of we had, I think, a really great model, but we focused on kind of the direction of transfer from L2 to L1. And it turns out that lots of people want to go many other directions, either L1 to L2 or L2 to L2. And so we kind of heard that feedback and decided we could make our model a little bit better. And so with Across V2, users can now transfer in both directions, L1 to L2 and L2 to L1. in addition to L2 to L2. And we support kind of a lot of the most popular L2 chains. So Arbitrum, obviously, Optimism, Polygon, Boba, and kind of support lots of different tokens. Um, so I think that's kind of like the main for like from a user perspective, the difference that they'll see is that now you can go both directions with the cross. And people should go both directions with a cross. But there's some things happening behind the scenes that are actually pretty exciting. So one of the pieces of feedback that we got was that we had lots of users and lots of people in our community who actually wanted to run a relayer. So the way Across works is basically there are relayers out there, and these relayers make bridgers effectively a loan. They give the bridger some capital up front, and then there's some details behind the scenes, but the Across protocol has liquidity pools that pay back the relayers. And there were a lot of people that wanted to run these relayers, but a lot of the volume that comes through, you see lots of transfers in the realm of $5,000 to $10,000, but then you also see people kind of moving, a couple $100,000, and people wanted to participate in a lot of these bridge transactions. And so with Across V2, you can actually do partial fills now. So in Across V1, you could only do all of it or none of it. And that excluded the community from participating in a lot of these bigger relays because they didn't have a couple $100,000 sitting around. So now people can run relayers and kind of participate by doing partial fills on some of the big transfers or kind of fully filling some of the smaller transfers. So that I think is one big change that we're super excited about. And we have a couple of external groups that are working on setting up some relayers right now, some kind of behind the scenes secrets. And then we also kind of, the flip side to that is that the way Across is designed is actually incredibly capital efficient. So, when you're thinking about bridging from one place to another, you want to make sure that your capital is being used as efficiently as possible. And you might ask, well, why do I care about capital efficiency as a user? And the truth is, maybe you don't, and that's fine. But the reason you should is because if we use our capital more efficiently, if we deploy it in an efficient manner, it means that you as a user can receive a lower fee while we still pay our LPs kind of market rate. And that's just because by using our capital efficiently, we're able to cycle through. And so we get a lot of this capital efficiency from kind of netting where some people want to go L1 to L2, other people want to go L2 to L1. And these like bi-directional flows net each other out, and they help us be really capital efficient and careful with our capital. So that was like a wall of like text, and I'm obviously really excited about about this stuff. But are there any specific questions you had, Lana?
I think that you honestly did a very good deep dive into covering it. So, just to kind of give our listeners a summary, with the release of V2, this does enable L2 to L2 transfers, higher capital efficiency, and this is via like netting. Actually, this might be something, Chase, if you could explain a little bit like the hub and spoke model for our listeners, like certain aspects of the higher capital efficiency that we have. I think the hub and spoke model is something that actually is very interesting too.
Yeah, so the way that capital is kind of distributed across the system um, is actually we have all of our liquidity providers sit on L1. So you actually you don't provide liquidity on L2, you provide liquidity in L1. And this liquidity kind of gets moved around from the hub pool, which is what we call our L1 pool, into the spokes, which are the pools that are on each of the L2s to help kind of meet the capital demands on each chain. And so each of these pools, the spoke pools and the hub pool, communicate with one another using kind of the cool infrastructure that L2s have built. So they have these messaging bridges and these kind of like native bridges for token transfers. And the reason people don't use these native bridges so much is that they take a little bit longer than something like like a fast bridge like Across. And so what we're doing behind the scenes is we have a lot of capital moving between different chains to either repay relayers or to move all of the liquidity providers' funds back to the hub pool. And so you get a lot of these kind of security guarantees of, your funds are going to mostly stay on L1, with like the benefits of, and again, this benefit is that we have this incredible capital efficiency. So kind of we get all of this security, but also we get to be really capital efficient with our capital.
Yeah, definitely. And then something else too that I wanted to add that helps with our capital efficiency is our batching and bundling. So with V2, we are batching and bundling our transactions a lot more aggressively. So once again, this helps with our capital efficiency. It helps with our low fee commitment. That is something that's really at the forefront of Across's values. So those are all different elements that go under this huge umbrella of higher capital efficiency. I do encourage our listeners to check out our Medium if you do want to learn more about our higher capital efficiency. For the V2 launch, we did have a pretty in-depth article that goes into what all of those capital efficient terms mean, exactly how you can participate in partial fills, and just going overall more in depth on Across V2. So I will link that up here in a bit. And yeah, I really encourage everyone to read that as well if this sounds like something that you're interested in. And of course, we encourage you to use Across.2 for all of your bridging needs now that, especially with Across V2 launching. So I think that that was a pretty solid rundown of Across V2. Chase, do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I don't have a lot to add. I will just say that, like, with the Odyssey that's going on right now, kind of our bundling and our relayers are going crazy, and it's amazing. So I think we've already done, something like 5,000 transfers since the start of Odyssey, or I think since yesterday. And I think what's cool about Odyssey so far, and I think we're going to get into that in a second, is that like we're getting a lot of users who are seeing our product. And I think we have a really good product. And I hope that kind of they use it once and they're going to find that it meets their needs.
Yes, definitely. Let me double check for a second. It looks like both Clayton and Nina had to drop off. Chase, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Nina, can you hear me now? Nina, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's just really weird just now. I can only hear Chase, so he's, from my perspective, he's just answering questions blindly. Then I'm like, where did he get all the questions?
That's
Oh
kind of
my God.
that's kind of an amazing perspective. Maybe we should do some like Twitter spaces like this where like people have to guess the question that was asked.
Yeah, that was
But let's
what,
not,
what I
we won't
did. I
do
was
it
like,
today, but
what
another
would be the
day.
question?
Okay, well, if that happens again, please let me know, because we definitely want people to hear the questions as well. That would be ideal. Um, So moving on, as I said before, from just the features of Across V2, I did want to kind of start diving into Arbitrum and what's new over on Arbitrum's side. So, as we've seen on Twitter and just really everyone is talking about it, Arbitrum Odyssey has launched. So, Nina, can you give us a bit of a rundown of Arbitrum Odyssey, especially for our listeners who have perhaps maybe seen some tweets about it or seen talkings of it, but don't really know like in depth what it's about.
For sure, for sure. Happy to share that. So Arbitrum Odyssey is really a ecosystem-wide celebration for Arbitrum. This is the first time ever we have done a campaign of this scale, and it's completely permissionless and open to anyone to join. And the way we design the campaign is that you don't need like $1,000. You don't need to be a wall to be part of this. Anybody, like if you have like $100, $50, you can be part of the campaign. And this is a 2 month campaign, and within the 2 months, we will be giving out in total 17 NFTs designed by well-known NFT designer Red Bull and Sugoi. I don't know if you have heard of them, but they are one of my favorites, or two of my favorites NFT artists. And if you visit our campaign page, you can see we already reviewed the first NFT we'll be giving out for the Bridge Week. Hope everybody like it. So the campaign is basically 4-step. The first step is the voting process. Arbitrum is a chain that supports over hundreds of decentralized apps in our ecosystem. And we don't want to be the one who choose which projects can be part of the campaign and which cannot. So we actually invited our community to vote from 54 projects. And the community ended up choosing 14 most popular ones to be part of the Odyssey campaign. And then we move on to step 2, which is what's happening right now, the Bridge Week. So this is the first week of the official kickoff of the campaign, where we invite users to bridge in ETH into Arbitrum from any chains using our designated bridging partners, such as Across. So show hat on for Across for now. Please go try out Across, use Across to bridge ETH into Arbitrum. The reason that we invite users to bridge ETH into Arbitrum for the first week is ETH is the native gas token for Arbitrum. We do not have our own token. We're using ETH. So every Arbitrum transaction, we actually burn ETH because we put our Colita on layer 1. So you will need to have ETH in your wallet to continue on to the third stage and the fourth stage of the Arbitrum Odyssey. So in the Bridge Week, we'll be giving out 2 NFTs. The first one is very easy. You just need to use any of the designated bridging partner to bridge ETH into Arbitrum. Then you'll be eligible for the first NFT. However, the second NFT is a bit tricky to get. You will have to guess which bridge will be the most popular bridge by the end of the week. And the way we rank this is by ETH volume. So you have to kind of speculating which bridge would have the most ETH inbound to Arbitrum within that week. And if you end up using the right bridge, you will be eligible for the second NFT. So that's about the bridging week. If anybody has any more questions, I don't know if we have an AMA part at the end of the space. I'm happy to answer the question. If not, go to our Discord. We have a very thorough FAQ channel there. Hopefully that will answer all the questions you ever have. And moving to the third part of the Arbitrum Odyssey campaign, it's going to be 7 weeks long. For each week, 2 of our Arbitrum ecosystem project will be giving out specific tasks based on their product. For example, this Treasure DAO, they will have specific tasks, which I cannot review right now, designed for our users, or this GMX that will have their own tasks as well. So this is a good chance for everybody to try out Arbitrum Native or blue chip projects on Arbitrum to experience Arbitrum ecosystem, to put that way. And after you complete tasks for each product, you will also get an NFT for that. So throughout stage 2 and stage 3, we'll be giving out in total 16 NFTs. And if you end up getting 13 out of 16 NFTs, at the last stage, you can come back to us and redeem a final grand NFT that will represent your completion of your Arbitrum Odyssey journey. And that's the whole story about Arbitrum Odyssey. Any specific questions you might want me to share more, Lana?
Well, that was incredible. Thank you so much for that deep dive into that. I did just want to go back to your question before. We are going to have questions at the end of this space. So yes, if anyone has any questions about Arbitrum Odyssey, please just save them to the end, and then you can request to come up and we would be happy to answer those. I also wanted to call on Chase too, because I know that we've had some really interesting stats since Odyssey started, and I wanted to see if you could share those.
Yeah, no. So on the average day, across more or less does kind of somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 transactions. And I think, if I remember right, Odyssey only started about noon yesterday. And since then, so it's been just under 24 hours, we've done something like 4,000 transactions just to Arbitrum. And so what one thing that I'm like super stoked about is I think this is like a really thoughtful design on Arbitrum's part. And we've done something like almost I think we've done just over 1,000 ETH so far. So people use across. Let's push across to the win, and we'll all get our cool NFT. I've bridged my ETH, and you'll just have to do your part. No, but one thing that I really like about this, right, is that I think Arbitrum's really building up kind of their partner protocols with this, and it's all about like, when I bridge to L2, I actually don't always know which protocols I should use because I think, there's some that are common across all chains, something like Uniswap, but there's a lot of protocols that are L2 specific, and they can only work on L2s because of these like scalability and cheap fees aspects. And so having the community kind of determine and like publicize like which projects you should use, I think it's so cool. And I think it's just such a good idea. Um, so yeah, so I think we're already seeing the benefits of it, and I hope other protocols kind of see the same influx of users that we're seeing right now.
This is really amazing. Really happy that Cross is already leading in the bridging competition. Like I personally are really excited for all the bridges. I like. There will only be one winner, but for me, you're all winners. This is like we designed this way specifically to help users to get to know our bridging partners, and as long as there are more people knowing our amazing bridges, I think that's my goal.
Yeah, definitely. We're so excited to be participating in this. And so also, Nina, one question that I had that I also saw that a few other people were asking on Twitter was that for those who have bridged into Arbitrum before Bridge Week started, do they need to bridge out and then bridge back in to become eligible?
Yes, they will have to do it again because the way Project Galaxy design campaign is that you will have to complete task within a specific task period. And the task period for Bridging Week is June 21st, 2022 at 1 p.m. EST to June 27th, 2022 at ending at 12:59 p.m. EST. So make sure you know your deadline. There's no rush. We have a whole week to do the bridging, but just make sure you finish the task within that time frame.
Okay, perfect. And I also just popped in a tweet above. This was from one of our team members who did when Across V2 launched, he did a tour of all of the L2s, and I think he spent, a grand total of 0.001 ETH in gas and fees, and it took him a total of 5 minutes. So and that was for how many? Like a ton of different chains. So if you are looking to bridge out and then bridge back in quickly and cheaply, I am going to recommend for people to use Across, just because we think it's a very efficient way to do this. And so, Chase, what benefits can those who are participating in the Odyssey expect if they use Across as their bridge?
Yeah, I will say that like I don't know. So we
Sorry,
talked
missed
about
that.
some of these.
What was the question?
Oh, the question was, what benefits can those who are participating in the Odyssey expect if they use Across as a bridge? Um, so we talked kind of at length, I think, to some of the benefits of Across generally. So I think we're really capital efficient, which allows us to charge our users low fees. You have kind of this decentralized security afforded to you by the optimistic oracle. And obviously, we're fast as well. There's a couple of things happening behind the scenes, and we'd invite people to kind of join our Discord to find out more. But we're starting up a referral program where people can use referral links to earn rewards. And kind of one of the cool things is you can refer yourself. Um, but there's also, and, I don't want to say too much because I don't know what the team has approved and what they haven't approved, but there's definitely discussions of like opening up our airdrop to more people if kind of we win the bridge competition. So if we win the bridge competition and you bridge with Across, then there's a pretty good chance you're going to receive an airdrop.
Yeah, it looks like Nina may have dropped off. It says connecting. Oh, okay. Let me bring her back on. Hey, Nina, can you hear us? Nina, can you hear us? It showed you dropped off for a second.
Yeah, I'm back now. Sorry about that.
No worries at all. So, yeah, so basically, as Chase was saying, we do have this is kind of community like alpha that we are in the process of this kind of referral link. So if you want to jump into our Discord to learn more and participate, that is always appreciated and encouraged. And then something else that I had just actually shared above. This is something that actually our community strategist for Risk Labs, which controls like Across, Outcome, and UMA, is listening. And that is his tweet above. And if we win Bridge Week, he is going to get the Across logo tattooed on his chest. You can see he's already had a practice one drawn on to see how it looks. So yeah, so that is just one other incentive that we have for people who are using us for Bridge Week. You could see Clayton get a nice tattoo with our logo. So
this is just a straight up alpha. People don't sleep on it.
Yeah, so we also like ideally if we did win this and we're really pushing for it. We'd love to like do some type of like video of it or live stream. So we'd keep the content going. It would be a fun time. So yeah, we encourage everyone to just really use Across for your bridging needs, especially during this bridging week. And so going off of that, Chase, are there any other things that you want to add in before we move on and talk a bit more about the Odyssey of just things about like using Across for the Odyssey?
No, I don't have a lot more to say other than kind of beat this drum of, capital efficiency allows us to charge you less, which means you can get to an Arbitrum for cheaper, which means you have more money to kind of do your degen stuff with. So hopefully you use Across.
Absolutely. Yeah, so moving on, Nina, I just wanted to kind of talk to you just in general with the Odyssey. Why this initiative? I just wanted to see what made you all want to create the Odyssey. What kind of goals, I guess, are you hoping to achieve? Is it just to spread the word of Arbitrum more? Is it to help these other projects and dApps on Arbitrum, or what's kind of your thinking there?
So I joined the team on, I think, July last year, right before our mainnet launch. So I've been here supporting our ecosystem growth ever since day one. So really, really a crazy ride for me. The growth is amazing for the past 10 months for Arbitrum. And the most amazing part is everything's organic. If you follow our ecosystem closely, you will notice that we never really throw any money at projects or users. Everything that's on Arbitrum today that comes naturally, they come because they believe in the L2 future, they believe in Ethereum, they believe in roll-ups, they believe in our team. So our team and I were constantly thinking about like, how to give back to the community and how to bring the ecosystem together. So the first thing definitely want to showcase our flourishing ecosystem, right? Like L2 is not the easiest concept to grasp for a user. Like nobody will come to crypto be like, I want to use L2, right? They will automatically go to like things like BNB or Ethereum layer 1, and they will find something they don't like about those chains, and then maybe they will start venturing about L2 technologies. So this is definitely the first thing come to my mind is to educate the users on all the amazing projects we have in our ecosystem. They have been supporting us since day one, and people should know about them. And they are great projects. And the second thing is like want to celebrate all the projects that supported our ecosystem for like across, right? So this is really a ecosystem carnival where projects can work together. we have seen many projects like reaching out to each other, like, we can do like a collaborative campaign on top of Odyssey, and then we'll drive even more users during this time. So this is really a time, it's like almost like a party time for our ecosystem projects. That's something like I didn't expect in the beginning, but really happy to see that our ecosystem are more united and working more closely throughout the campaign. So that's definitely an outcome that I am really excited about. So this is why we started Odyssey and how it turned out to be something that the entire community is so excited for.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. And I think that that's such a great point too, that when people first do get involved in crypto, they might not know about L2s, and this really just gives them an incentive and more awareness to try it. So would you say that just in general, like the Odyssey is helping promote like an L2 centric future?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the exact reason why we have Bridge Week as the first part of the campaign is that people need to first learn how to put money into L2, right? So this is basically the gateway for anybody to really step into the L2 future, and just having the NFT designed by a well-known artist is something like we can afford to educate users on the new technology, just giving them a easy ramp up on things that could be very complicated behind the scene. But from their perspective, this is just a really fun initiative, really fun task to complete every week.
Yeah, definitely. I think it makes the on-ramp into L2s a lot more fun and a lot more informative in a way too. And so, also going off of this question about promoting like an L2 centric future, I just wanted to see like what else either on Across's or Arbitrum's side is further promoting an L2 centric future, because I know here we are all about the L2s.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of a cross and like these bridges in general, right, is that we're going to end up with an L2 centric future where people are going to need to do something on Arbitrum, and then they may need to move money back to mainnet so that you can withdraw it to Coinbase or something like that. But there's just there's this possible world, and I think it's coming, and I like truly believe in this underlying thesis of like the majority of users will onboard to L2s. They may switch between L2s, but there's like a large subset of people that in the future will never touch L1. And I think this is like a really cool future. Um, and I think Arbitrum is like they're helping make this come to pass, right? Like they're helping us accomplish this future by holding Odyssey. Like there's lots of users who are now going to be like going after these NFTs, and hopefully they're going to use across to start their L2 journey. But then, you know, in the future, after Odyssey and after everything settles down, I think there's a world where people like stay on L2s, and now they're going to do their trading on Arbitrum, and they may move something like they may move need to move their funds somewhere else, and Across can help with that. And so I think it's really like Across is kind of like the glue that's going to help make this L2 centric future so successful.
Just want to say that I completely agree with Chase that, in the future, I believe the L2 future is where users don't even need to touch L1 at all. When they enter Ethereum community, they should just, interact with L2s. Definitely, that's something we're pushing forward to as well.
And so, Nina, how long have you been like doing, crypto or like Ethereum stuff? Like, I remember like if you had told me this in like 2018, I would have had no idea like even what to make of that, right? Like, I think we knew that there were some scaling problems, but I guess like maybe I wasn't just like plugged in enough, but like I had no idea that a future like this could emerge, and it's so cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think back in 2018, I didn't believe in that either, especially, where, back then there's all this like ETH killers and stuff. But just to give everybody a bit of history about Arbitrum and about rollups. So the reason why the L2 centric future actually came out in 2020, October 2020. That's when Vitalik released an article called the L2-centric roadmap for Ethereum. And that's when everybody started to learn about rollups and be like, okay, rollup is definitely the future, and Vitalik's behind it, the Ethereum community is behind it. And very interesting is that our company, Off-Chain Labs, we actually designed our first prototype of Arbitrum 1 back in 2015 as a Bitcoin scaling solution. Back then, Ethereum doesn't even exist yet. But after so many years, we turned it into a commercial product, and we turned that prototype into a commercial product, and to scale Ethereum. So scaling is something that's in our mind for a very, very long time, and our team is here to scale Ethereum with the technology that we had back, for the prototype back we had in 2015.
That is actually really cool history. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you, Nina. And something else too that I wanted to mention is for our listeners who do want to start going to L2s, going to Arbitrum, with Across, we do pride ourselves on our super simple UI. So it's something where if you've never used a bridge before, it should be really easy to use. And that's exactly how we've designed it with our user in mind. So I did just want to point that out for anyone who wants to try out like Arbitrum, but perhaps is a little bit unsure of how to do it. Across is very simple, and it really is something where it isn't a super hard kind of like barrier to enter, just because we make sure that UI is very clean, very simple. And so moving on from that to Nina, I wanted to see if there was any alpha that you could give our listeners for weeks 2 to 8 of the Odyssey. So this is after Bridge Week is over.
Yeah, absolutely. So first step, make sure you join the Arbitrum Discord. If you don't know where it is, just on Twitter, search @Arbitrum, and our Discord link is like in our bio. So why you want to do that is that's where we will update all the tasks. We'll give you all the answers for your questions. That's where people will talk about how to do the task. And second is I want to make sure you follow every single protocol social media, including all the bridging partners. All the 14 projects will come on week 2 to week 8. The reason is I know a lot of them, majority of them, have special surprise for your Odyssey participants, for our Arbinauts. They're giving out free tokens, free NFTs. There's like combo campaigns, joint campaigns, everything. So make sure you follow closely on their social media to see what they offer. So this is something you can pick up along the way as you go through the Arbitrum Odyssey journey. So just make sure you follow all the social media closely and keep an eye on the alphas.
Great, thank you. And one other thing too that I just wanted to see is with the NFT artists that you're using, I had gone through and looked at them and they look super interesting. And I just want to see if there was any reason that you chose those artists or what the thinking was behind partnering with them.
So we like Red Wall and Scoy because they're artists who are very community centric. They're very close to the crypto community, and that's exactly the vibe we're giving out for. Like we don't want to have something that's like so high end and so fancy to a point. We want something down to earth and close to the community, and community will appreciate.
Okay, great. Yeah, and it definitely helps that their art is fantastic for sure. And so we have been talking about the Arbitrum Odyssey a lot, but I did want to see, Nina, if there are any other things that you wanted to highlight that are going on that are new on Arbitrum.
Absolutely. So this summer is all about a layer 2 L222, and this summer is all about Arbitrum. So we have our Arbitrum Nitro upgrade coming very, very soon. I can't review the dates yet, but it's coming closer than you might imagine. So Arbitrum Nitro is a technology stack we're going to put into our current Arbitrum 1 chain. This will drastically decrease the fees and increase our throughput. And for our developers here, we will be integrating GEES and we'll be supporting Wasm. So your experience developing Arbitrum will be even more smooth after Arbitrum Nitro. And what's more exciting is we actually released another technology called Antitrust Chain. And this is a technology that's closer to sidechain. However, it only requires one honest validators in our committee to make the chain secure. And this is specifically designed for metaverse, GameFi, and SocialFi product. So not only in the future, not only you will have, Arbitrum 1, you will have another chain that's very, very affordable to a point where GameFi product can build on their complex on-chain interaction while still keeping it affordable for their users. So that's also coming very, very soon in the summer. So yeah, keep an eye on both product upgrades and launches. Hopefully everybody will enjoy our technologies.
Definitely. And where can people go if they want to make sure that they're getting the newest updates? Like, where will you announce those things? On Twitter, in your Discord?
We actually have we have a Discord, we have a Twitter account called Arbitrum Dev, and we have our official Twitter account at Arbitrum. So those three channels are your best friends to keep an eye on our latest ecosystem update.
Okay, so you heard it here. Join those accounts and make sure to join their Discord as well so you're up to date on all things Arbitrum. And so also, Nina, for people who are listening right now, who are perhaps like developers who are interested in building on Arbitrum, who should build on Arbitrum? Like, what can developers expect for benefits when they do decide to build on Arbitrum?
Literally everyone should be building on Arbitrum because that's the future of Ethereum. But to be more specific, if people who enjoy the security and decentralization of Ethereum, but they do not like the fees that's on Ethereum layer 1, and they do not like the limited TPS on Ethereum layer 1, that's when they should start looking into Arbitrum. Because we are a blockchain that's our security is guaranteed by Ethereum layer 1. However, we put computations on layer 2, so our gas fees are a lot cheaper compared to layer 1. And so that's basically our unique value proposition. And for our developers, we are completely EVM compatible to the bytecode level. And like I mentioned, with Arbitrum Nitro upgrade, we're going to support Wasm and we're going to integrate GEES into Arbitrum Nitro. So the developer experience should be extremely smooth. Like so far in the past 10 months, I've never heard any developers complaining developing on Arbitrum because we're EVM compatible. You can use literally any tools you use, any language you use to develop on Arbitrum. There's nothing new to you. If you already have a DApp that's on another chain, it literally takes you like 10 minutes to migrate onto Arbitrum. So the experience is extremely smooth. So this is why we have over 300, 400 DApps on Arbitrum ecosystem now, and you should be part of it if you are a developer.
And Nina, as well as developers, how about users? Like, I know that there are tons of different dApps that are on Arbitrum, but what can users more expect, like across the board, when they are on Arbitrum? Like, what does Arbitrum really pride itself on?
We have affordable gas cost, so you are here to experience the layer 1 security, but layer 2 gas cost. There's one time where there's like NFT minting events going on layer 1, like to do a transaction takes you like hundreds of dollars, and to do a Uniswap interaction it would take you like $1,000. Where Arbitrum it will take you like $1, right? So this is like the the attraction of L2. This is why people use L2. And second, everything in Arbitrum is instant confirmation. Thanks to a technology called sequencer, all the transactions and interaction in Arbitrum are confirmed instantly. So there's literally no delay. Everything you click on happens right away. So this is an amazing experience for our users as well. And like I mentioned, we have over 400 products on our ecosystem now. That includes your blue chip protocols like Uniswap, SushiSwap, Curve, Balancer, Aave, right? And that also includes Arbitrum native products like TreasureDAO, GMX, Dopax, and those filled with innovations and creativity that's unique to Arbitrum ecosystem. And then, of course, our bridging partners will help you bridge in and out of Arbitrum easily. And what's very interesting and very unique in Arbitrum is that we have something called free mint NFT culture. So this is, you've never seen it in any other ecosystem. So all of our majority of the NFT projects on Arbitrum, they are going under free mint carnival. So if you get whitelisted, you only have to pay very limited gas fees. It's usually like $1, $2, sometimes even less to mint it. So those products actually don't charge you any minting fees. So this is almost like a culture that's embedded into the Arbitrum community. And Odyssey is a great time for users to try this out. So we designed a campaign in a way to hold your hands through the Arbitrum ecosystem. We guided you to bridge into Arbitrum, guide you to try out different protocols, literally tell you what to do. And like I mentioned in the very beginning of the space, all the tasks are designed in a way where everybody can participate. You don't need thousands of dollars to do it. You only need maybe $100 to do it. You can reuse those money with different tasks as well. So this is time for you to try out Arbitrum ecosystem with the Odyssey campaign.
Yes, definitely. And just as a reminder too, if you are listening and you want to participate, we really encourage you to use Across's bridge. With Across, users can expect very low fees, near instantaneous transfers, and a really secure bridge. Those are the three pillars that we really pride ourselves on. Chase, are there any other things that you want to add as well for what users should expect when they use Across to bridge to Arbitrum?
No, I think we've covered that quite a bit. I will say Across is cheap because we're capital efficient, so please consider using us. You can find us at across.to.
Yep. And so going off of that, we are getting to the end of our questions. So I just wanted to see on either end between Nina and Chase, is there anything that I missed that you would like to talk about, either that's going on in Across or in Arbitrum?
Nothing from me. I think we should open it up for questions.
Yeah, happy to answer any questions.
Okay, amazing. So if anyone has any questions, whether that be about Arbitrum Odyssey, any of Arbitrum's new products, or Across V2, please request and I will bring you up to speak. We'll just give it a couple of seconds to see if anyone has any questions. Oh, we have a request. Okay, SB, you should be up on the stage. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question for Chase. Since our the Across V2 is totally secure, that's because of optimistic Oracle and the DVM machine, data verification machines used. I just wanted to know, Chase, is it safe in other bridges also? Other bridges, how safe are they, compared to Across?
Yeah, I'd have to understand more, and different bridges have different security models. So I like my bridges to be there's a spectrum of trustless to trusted. And I think you move to bridges that have kind of basically like a multi-sig where people are like, hey, you know, this deposit did happen, so we're going to prove out of our multi-sig that a user should receive these funds on the destination. Um, I would be, as a user, I'm probably like not too afraid of that, to tell you the truth. But as like an LP, I would be afraid. And then I think you move to something like a cross where like we do have like this like optimistic and like again like a lot of this actually was inspired by some of the ideas in like the optimistic rollups, right? Which is like you only need one honest user to dispute. Um, and so I think a cross is extremely secure and quite trustless on the trustless spectrum. Um, but no, I mean I don't want to say. I think lots of people have built cool products. Obviously, I'm pretty biased towards ours.
Yeah,
Perfect.
thank you so much for the question, SB.
Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to see if anyone else wanted to come up and request with any other questions. I'll give it a couple seconds again.
If no one else
Okay,
comes up, you should ask Clayton to ask a question.
true. Okay, I added another person up.
Well, thank you for
Okay.
giving me answer here. My question is, if I'm eligible when I transfer it from Polygon network to Arbitrum, eligibility is there for participation in Odyssey?
Sorry, it's a bit crowded there. I don't think I can hear your question. Can you repeat?
My question is for participation. Am I eligible if I am bridge the Ethereum from Polygon network to Arbitrum? L2 from L2.
Yes. So it depends on which product you use, but if you if the product of your choice supports Polygon, then yes, you'll be eligible.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's a really good question. I actually didn't realize that. So it's bridging to Arbitrum from anywhere makes you eligible, not just from mainnet. Is that right?
That is right.
Okay, awesome. And so I do have another speaker request. Everything blockchain, you should be able to speak. Oh, there you go. Okay, can you hear it?
Yes, I can. Hey, Nina. Hey, Lana. Thank you for this AMA. Sorry if I got in pretty late, and sorry if I would have missed that bit about. I want to understand what made Arbitrum go with Arbitrum Odyssey. What was the reason for you all to go this route? Was it primarily to attract more developers, more users to come on board and make this as one of the more organic ways of marketing Arbitrum, which would bring in a holistic growth, and also, I mean, obviously the this is kind of making big news in the wider crypto community, especially with the Arbitrum airdrop coming and speculations of it having a multiplier and everything. Would you throw some light on it? How far would this help, or if at all that is true, or what is the utility for the NFTs? Just bet on that. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Like I mentioned, that this campaign was originally designed to educate users to learn about layer two, to experience our ecosystem. Definitely, we have been doing a lot of effort to attract new developers. And I think Odyssey is not a campaign designed for developers, but I think it really showcased like how strong our communities are, and hopefully that will be appealing to some of the developers in our community to build on Arbitrum. And to answer your question about NFTs, it's not a utility NFT. It's really for our community to collect. And I cannot comment on airdrops because I'm not allowed to. I'm not authorized to comment anything around that. Otherwise, my lawyer will kill me.
I kind of understand now. That was expected. I thought you will spill some beans out there, but yes, I understand. But are you looking at some form of utility for these NFTs besides that? I mean, has anything been thought, or it is open to the wider community to decide? Just gathering your thoughts on that.
This is not a utility NFT. At least as of now, we do not have plan to give utility to it. But if you find the NFT worth to collect, if you like Red Bull and Scully and you like Arbitrum, you should definitely be part of it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming up to speak. We appreciate that. Okay, I wanted to see if we had any last questions before we wrapped up the space. Okay, I think that may be it. So, just to wrap up, I wanted to see both on Arbitrum's side and across the side, Nina, where should people go to stay up to date with all things Arbitrum?
On Twitter, you should search Arbitrum. It's Arbitrum. I know people always mess it up. I've seen multiple versions of spellings for Arbitrum, but Arbitrum, please. And join our Discord. In our Twitter account bio, you will see our Discord invite link. That's where you can join it. And follow myself. I will be putting my Arbitrum shilling hat on all the time to share about everything I know about the ecosystem on my personal Twitter account as well.
Amazing. Okay, and then for Across, if you want to stay up to date on all things Across, we encourage you to follow our Twitter at Across Protocol. We also encourage you to join our Discord. And then we also are hiring. So if you want to go to angel.co/company/across-2, that's where you will find all of our job postings. We also, as I've mentioned before, Risk Labs is the team that controls UMA, Outcome, and Across. So if you want to hop over to like the UMA Angel as well, we also have our listings there. So yeah, just go to angel.co and then you can see Across and UMA. And so other than that, I just wanted to see if there are any things that either Nina or Chase you'd like to throw in. Something I would like to throw in as a reminder to please use Across's Bridge during Arbitrum Odyssey Bridge Week. As I mentioned before, you will experience cheap, secure, near instantaneous transfers. We also have that referral link alpha that you can check out in our community. And then we also have the whole idea that our Risk Labs community strategist will get the Across logo tattooed on him if we are the most used bridge during Bridge Week. So those are all of my call to actions, but I wanted to see if Chase or Nina, you had anything to wrap it up.
You hit everything I would have said.
Okay, amazing. How about you, Nina? Is there anything that you would like our listeners to know before we wrap up?
All good from my side as well.
Okay, amazing. Thank you both so much for coming on and speaking today. And thank you to all of our listeners who have joined today. We hope that you use Across and experience Across V2, and we hope that you bridge to Arbitrum so that you can experience all of the amazing elements that go into Arbitrum Odyssey. So we are going to wrap up. So I just want to say thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Nina. Thanks, Lana. Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone with
Chase.
questions.
Thank you, Lana. Good night.
Thank you.